Gregory Keene turns another page on the Dossier on Dumetrius.
At 2:30 that morning, we thought we had Peter Ridgway sewn up tight. Cutts and I were waiting outside Hetty Bergner's flat in case he showed up there. And Inspector Frayne and some Scotland Yard types were waiting to grab him the moment he put his foot inside the Gloucester Road Tube station. But all the while, Dumetrius or some of his hatchet men were busy trying to push Ridgway under a train in the Hyde Park Underground. They dressed up one of their chaps as an elderly grey-haired woman, if you please. And he took up a position behind Ridgway as the train came full tilt into the platform. We had no idea what was happening till a report came over the police radio from the yard about trouble in Hyde Park Station. And I'd have given my right arm to have been on the spot at that very moment.
Ridgway! Look out!
You all right, Ridgway? Yes. You get after the old woman.
About yourself. Stop me here a minute.
You get after that old woman. This is where I make a run for it. But fast. Let me in, Sally, quickly.
Peter! Oh, I've been half off my head worrying about you. I got off early from the club to race home and ask you not to risk it. Oh, I'm that glad you're back safe.
Hey, I just had one escape by the skin of my whiskers. I don't want to be throttled on top of it. Oh, do I need a drink?
I'll get you one. What happened?
Well, they were pretty darn cunning, Sally. One of them was dressed as an old woman, grey hair and all. He tried to push me under an incoming train.
Oh, Peter. Here you are.
Let that work its way down.
So that dreadful Bergner woman is mixed up in it to the hilt.
That we now know. We've at least that to go on.
But what actually happened at the station? Surely pushing you under the wheels almost didn't pass unnoticed.
Good Lord, no. It's the very devil of her to do. Digby Mitchell took off like a jet after the old grey-haired woman, who had a turn of speed you generally see at the Olympic Games. I couldn't stay around. I was pretty busy getting out of there before the bobbies came on the scene. The last I saw of Dig Mitchell, he was sprawling on top of a little fat man in a black Homburg hat, who seemed very much to have gotten his way.
So you didn't catch the person?
No, Sally, we didn't catch the person.
Well, now it doesn't matter. Now you'll be able to go to Major Keene and tell him all about Hetty Bergner, and he'll have to believe you. He'll have to now, Peter.
Yes. I wonder if the blighter would.
But you just can't go on taking any more such awful risks.
Oh, I don't know. See, there are two of us now, Mitchell and me. And with you, our insider of the Red Feathers Club. It's the very dickens of a temptation to follow it up ourselves and see just what Hetty does with her spare time.
No. If you don't go to Major Keene, I will.
But what if Hetty led us to the rest of her crowd? She must communicate with them in some way, or they'd never have known I was going to be in the Hyde Park Underground at 2:30 this morning. No one else knew but we three and Hetty.
I don't care. It's the Bobby's job to catch a gang of murderers, not yours, Peter Ridgway. And I haven't been hiding you and looking after you just to see you pushed under trains by old women with grey hair.
Well, you can take it from me, Sally. I'm not getting any fun out of it.
You have to promise me you'll tell all this to that Major Keene. I won't argue with you, Peter. If you haven't any more sense than a newt, I'll have to have some for you.
Now, hang on a minute. You pipe down like a good kid. Wait till Mitchell gets here and we'll let him decide. How's that?
Well, if he agrees with me, you'll do as we say?
I suppose so.
That's better than nothing. But if you ask me, Digby Mitchell's as silly as you are. Anyone would think the pair of you wanted to get yourselves killed.
10-1, that's Digby now.
I'd better answer it just the same. Hello? You were right, Peter. Here you are.
Thanks. Hello there. How'd you get on?
You got back there all right?
Well, what does it sound like?
I wanted to make sure before going back there myself. I have news for you, chummy.
Well, what happened?
Tell you when I get there.
Shake it up, there's a good chap. Sally's making tea and toast. I'll tell her to make it for 3.
Good show. But if you eat mine before I get there, I'll shove you under a train myself. I have.
Digby's onto something, Sally. When we finally go to Major Gregory MI5 Keene, maybe we'll really have something to tell him. Come on now. let's give you a hand with that toast. Where's the fork?
Keen speaking. Yes, Frayne. Yeah, another thing, eh? But it was quite definitely Peter Ridgway. Girl in slacks with a Pekingese dog. Yes, professional interest. And it's lucky someone could give us an accurate description of him. All right, we'll make a fresh start in the morning. Well, Cuts, what do you make of it, eh?
We ran clean off the rail somewhere, sir.
Yes, but where?
Going after Peter Ridgway for stabbing that American in Bailey's hotel, I'd say so.
Well, I'm hanged if I know. If Ridgway killed the American for Dumetrius because of the picture in his camera, who the devil's trying to kill Ridgway and why?
And if he was meeting Miss Bergner at Gloucester Road at 2:30, what was he doing in the tube at Hyde Park Corner?
No, he could have been on his way late. It's only 3 or 4 stops. Now, the thing that sticks in my head, Cuts, how did those people know Ridgway was going to be in the tube at just that time?
Would they have to know, sir? Couldn't they have followed him from somewhere?
No. No, it must have been planned. There was the fellow disguised as the old grey-haired woman, remember that? Tonight was planned from first to last. Not only for Ridgway, but for me and for Frayne and his chaps from the yard. I can feel it. I know it. Oh, but nothing adds up.
Well, sir, it'd add up a bit if Peter Ridgway had promised to meet Miss Bergner at Hyde Park Corner instead of at Gloucester Road.
The Bergner girl mixed up in an attempted murder. Oh, don't talk like a fool.
Well, I'm only taking a look at it from every blooming direction, sir.
Look, Cuts, if Hayd'd told someone she was meeting Ridgway, someone who wanted to bump him off, would she tell me she'd seen him at the Red Feathers and give herself away? The idea's fantastic.
If you ask me, the old blooming affair's fantastic, sir.
Yes, you can say that again.
Now, what about us getting a bit of sleep, sir, eh? We could go on like this all night.
Well, I'd like to pay one call before I turn in tonight.
At this hour?
Listen, Cuts. We're in an absolutely blind alley. We haven't a solitary lead of any description. And all we know for certain is that Dumetrius came to London and someone killed an American called Godowski, right?
Too blooming right.
We simply have to get hold of Peter Ridgway. If we wanted him before, now we want him twice as badly. So we have to tackle 2 people. Digby Mitchell's one. He knows where Ridgway's hiding. And we know where to get hold of Digby Mitchell.
Well, he's not likely to tell us much.
Then we'll just have to take the gloves off.
Right off, sir?
Right off.
And who's the other one we tackle?
Someone let Ridgway into the Red Feathers Club through the back way. So I think it's about time we had a word with Tony Marzotti.
Him it'd be a pleasure to take the gloves off with. Everyone else seems to be playing rough. Blimey. Fancy putting a bloke under a train down in the tube.
Or anywhere else.
Seems to make it twice as horrid right down underground like that.
Yes. Start indulging your imagination in our job, Cuts, and you'll finish up draped over a bottle of gin down in Shoreditch somewhere.
Don't care much for gin, sir. I generally stick to beer.
Well, you're not getting a beer tonight till we've had a chat with Digby Mitchell. Come on, let's make a move.
Here he is, Sally. I'll let him in.
Any of that toast left?
We left it on you, greedy beggar. But never mind that. What's the score?
Don't rush me. Hi, Sally.
Hello. Digby, talk to Peter and make him have some sense. The pair of you have to go to Major Keene.
Oh, no, not on your life. Well, not just yet, anyway. Now, wait till I tell you. Peter, do you remember the little fat chap down in the underground? You know, with the black overcoat and the Homburg hat.
I was telling Sally. You went down on him like a fullback going for the kill.
Well, don't be funny about it, chum. He deliberately brought me down so the chap dressed as the old woman could get away. He was full of apologies, and all I could do was to let him go. But, Pete, old boy, what do you know?
Oh, come, don't string it out.
We now know where to lay our hands on 2 of the gang. Little Fatty with the black Homburg hat, and Mistress Bergner with the dark brown eyes.
What?
I've just come from the general vicinity of the West India Dock Road.
Oh, don't mourn her for the love of Mike. Where did you go tonight, and what happened?
Oh, isn't it obvious? I followed little Fatty home. Followed him home and watched him go inside. So, before we put you in Gregory Keene's hands, Peter, old boy, we've a job to do. on Fatty. And for mine, it's going to be a pleasure.
If only those two idiots had taken the girl Sally's advice. But they didn't. And after one of them had been nearly shoved under the train, I don't suppose you could blame them. We'd been taking it fairly easily up till then, but we couldn't afford to have Peter Ridgway running about any longer. So off came the gloves, and on went the brass knuckles. And, not only ours.
Dumetrius makes plans to discover Ridgway's hideout, and further tangled skeins are woven into this web of black market activity and murder. In the next chapter of suspense in Dossier on Dumetrius.